In this video, we're going to go over how to do the calculations for the density of metals lab. So this is after you've collected your data for the mass of the metal, the initial volume, and the final volume. So after placing that metal in the graduated cylinder, or before you did that, you recorded the initial volume, and then after placing that metal in the graduated cylinder, you recorded the final volume. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find what the volume of the metal is, and we're going to use the formula that is on this spreadsheet / this is also what's on Noteful in that section 1.13. So remember, whenever we're writing formulas or writing calculations in sheets, we always got to start with an equal sign, and you can either tap on the icon you see on your screen or you can type this. We're going to start with an equal sign. This is going to be equals final volume minus initial volume. So we're going to tap on our final volume, and then we're going to subtract this from our initial volume. And then if we want to, you could individually type out the equation 3 more times, or what you could do from here is use the autofill feature. So in order to do that, you're going to tap on the cell, bring that blue corner down, tap inside that highlighted section, and then tap on autofill, and then it automatically does those calculations for you, so you don't have to manually type them out. So that's how you calculate the volume of a metal. So final volume minus initial volume. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to use this data to calculate the density of our metal. So for that, we're going to divide the mass of the metal by the volume of the metal. So again, anytime we type an equation, we're always going to start off with an equal sign, and we're going to do the mass of our metal divided by, so slash, the volume of the metal, which is what we just calculated. And then we're going to hit return. And then again, you can either manually do this for the rest of the rows, or what you could do is tap on the first one, drag the corner down, tap in the middle, and then hit autofill, and then it automatically does those calculations for you. So from here, we are going to calculate our average lab density. So if you don't remember the formulas for calculating average percent error, percent RHD, you can pull up on Canvas the how to calculate average percent error and percent RHD guide. Here is the formula for calculating average. So we're going to start with an equal sign. We're going to start typing in average. And remember, you don't have to fully type out the word, because on the bottom of the screen, you're going to see the function. It says average. All you got to do is tap on that. And then in the parentheses are going to go all our trials. So since for this lab we're trying to find the density of our metal, the trials that are going to go inside that set of parentheses are going to be the trials for the density that we calculated. So we're going to tap on this cell here, bring the corner down to include all of those trials, and then hit return, and then that's our average. So the next thing that we're going to fill in is our actual or theoretical density from the trusted source. So these you're going to find on today's Canvas page. So if you scroll down to the bottom-ish where it says step number 4, there's a table here, and it has 4 metals listed on there: copper, aluminum, zinc, tungsten, and then it has their densities. We are going to try to match this up with the density that the average is closest to, so that we can identify what metal this is. If you look at this chart, it looks like, based off our average density of about 2.71, looks like it's pretty close to the aluminum one. So what I'm going to do for my actual theoretical density, I'm going to type in 2.70, because that's the one that closely matches our average. Yours might be the same, it might be different. So choose whichever density closely matches the average that you have in your Google Sheet. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to calculate our percent error and our percent RSD. So again, you're going to pull up this how to calculate average percent error and percent RSD guide. This is, again, located on Canvas. For our percent error, we are going to start by typing an equal sign, and then it's ABS, and again, the function pops up on the lower left-hand corner of the screen. So we're going to tap on that. Inside the parentheses, we're going to do our theoretical minus the average. So I'm going to tap on theoretical, we're going to subtract that from our average. So let me do that again. There we go, our average. And then we're going to move our cursor outside the parentheses. We're going to use the slash, that's the division symbol, and we're going to divide by our theoretical value. So I'm going to tap on that cell again. And then we're going to multiply by 100. So that's going to be star and then 100. And then hit return. And then we have our percent error. Next, we're going to do our percent RSD. So again, always going to start off with an equal sign. Start typing in ST. And then remember, we're doing the standard deviation. So it's right here on the lower left-hand corner. Where it says trials, we're going to use the same trials that we use for calculating average. And this is going to be true every time you do these calculations. The same trials you use for calculating average are the same trials you're going to use for calculating the percent RSD. So that's all our lab measured density trials, all 4 of them. Then we're going to move the cursor outside the parentheses. We're going to divide, so that's the slash. We're dividing by our average, which is right here. And then we're going to multiply, so that's a star, by 100. And then hit return. And then there we have our percent RSD. Now here's what we're going to do to make our lives easier. We have a whole bunch of decimal places, but we don't want to have to write those out when we're writing our possible errors paragraph based off this set of data. So what you can do is select these cells. On the upper right hand corner, there's an A with an underline. You're going to tap there. Then you're going to tap on cell, scroll down, and then you can adjust the number of decimal places. And we're going to adjust this so we have about 2 decimal places. Alright, there we go. And then we're going to do the same thing with our percent error and percent RSD. So tap on A, scroll to the bottom, make sure on the cell tab. And we're going to go down to 2 decimal places. And that's it. That's how you do the calculations for the density of a metals lab.